Hello.
Really good, man. I enjoyed myself.
What's up, guys?
Nice, man. Nice. Good to hear. Hey, Ken.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Hey,
We
good morning,
are
Ken.
about to pop, huh? Man, this thing has been moving overnight. What do y'all think? You think we're going to pop up higher and go into this red zone here? Or we going to go straight down?
Red zone.
Yeah. I was thinking we were going to sweep the highs right up at the, right. I would say maybe 15, 20 minutes ago. I was like, oh, we're definitely going to go sweep the highs and then go do something. But we already kind of done, and we kind of already did that. Now we have already traded through all these levels down here, so maybe we end up going up there. I don't know. Give it a little time. It went right up to the red zone. Nobody trade. Nobody trade. Say good morning instead.
I traded up. I got a quick little profit.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Top
Good
of the morning to
morning.
you guys. How's everyone doing?
Doing awesome.
Good, good, good.
Doing great.
Me too. Me too.
Nice. How could we not be doing awesome after Cedric's little spiel yesterday morning about how good he feels?
Right? Had me pumped
Feeling
up
like
all day.
$1,000,000 out this mofo. What's up, y'all? What's up? Morning, morning, morning.
What's up?
There he is.
I'm coming. I'm coming. I just, you know what I did? I left because I'm stupid and I love trying to catch that open. So I was like, I'm gonna walk away. I don't even want to see it.
What was that, yesterday or
I,
today?
just now, that's why I just barely walked over, came back over here. I've been in
Mm.
here, but I knew it was about to open, so I went in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Well, those interest rates, see, that's what I was trying to say yesterday. Interest rates, huge impact on, even though it's not the dollar, it has, the thing is, you gotta, if you want to find out something interesting, go look up how the DXY basket is created, and you'll see that it's actually the value of a couple currencies weighted, and that includes the dollar. I mean, that includes the euro, yen, couple different ones, and so DXY basket. I'll show you right here. All right, the dollar DXY basket refers to the U.S. dollar, a measure of the dollar's strength, measured against 6 world currencies: euro, yen, pound, Canadian dollar, blah 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 blah. And look, so composite of the DXY basket, euro accounts for 57%. Okay, so remember when I was saying that we've got the rate for the euro and the pound. The pound is affected a lot by the euro. If you remember, those used to be like connected before. Oh my God, what was that called? Brexit, I think is what it was back in, what was that, 2015, 16? I don't remember. But anyway, the euro's 57%. So it's just like these stocks. Oh, look at that. Man, right off that zone is perfect. I bet you I'm just seeing if there was any sort of a clear flush there. It looks so perfect. So yeah, the dollar is going to be affected by that interest rate decision, and so I don't know. So the thing, this is how it works. This is the most simple way. When there's an interest rate decision, it's not a guarantee how the market is going to react to it. So most of the time it does what's called pricing in. And so it'll price it in ahead of time before the event. And so what also ends up happening is the risk tone changes. And so it causes money to flow out of the dollar, out of things that are going to be affected by that rate decision. So that means dollar can go down, NASDAQ can go up, right? Things like that. So, and then look, we had it right here. So at 6:30 for today's, let me just make sure. 6:15 is when that all came in. So, and then what this was also, we had CPI come out. CPI came out at 6:30. Like just a combination of things, which I didn't even see CPI. Philly, we talked about the Philly Fed index, and I mentioned that that's an orange folder. So an orange folder doesn't look like it's going to give a lot of volatility, but if there's a big difference in the expectation versus the actual, then it becomes pretty volatile, and that was right at 6:30 as well. So yeah, we just had a whole combination of things. Any of you guys sell off of that volume zone up there?
Nope.
Why not?
I don't know. I sold on the way up, so I one trade so far that it won.
Nice. We're at the weekly VWAP right now. We're kind of doing like this pattern right here is right now using it as support. See if it breaks down below that. That'd be a Titan setup here in a second. See if it holds, because that also looks like a nice. I know we're not really at a session low or a low of the day, but that also looks like a perfect flush pattern.
There's a 5-minute extreme setting up for a sell. Yeah, it's kind of depending on the candle. It starts and then it goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ken, I emailed Apex about that situation I had yesterday of I deleted that one account by accident and they reinstated it.
Oh, that's cool. It's cool. They
Yeah,
actually
but they
did
said it
that.
was a one-time thing, that's all.
I could
that they
get,
would
I
do
could,
that.
I could get that though.
Yeah, I get it. But I did tell him, I said, look, your PA accounts don't have the account number attached to it under the subscriptions.
Yeah.
And they said that they'll look into that. I
Right.
don't know if that was just what them saying that, or I mean, I don't know why they don't.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that they were able to at least get it back to you.
Yeah, that was
That's
nice.
solid support for once, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh man, this thing pushing. It didn't set up the Titan, but man, it looks right. It sure does. So I've been messing around, and I tried a few trades like I talked about yesterday. I had mentioned I wanted to try to set up kind of like a grid style, like a predefined grid,
Grid martingale.
yeah, and so no martingale, but just dollar cost average, but with
Yeah.
a set risk in mind. And I went through ChatGPT and was going back and forth with that. And what I ended up coming up with was a couple different scenarios, but basically I was pretty much like, all right, if I wanted to risk $500 total and I started with one contract, what's the biggest grid I could use, and where my final where I would normally add my last, grid, and if that is $500 total loss, then instead that would be a stop loss. So it kind of looks like this. Let me show you. All right, it kind of looks like this right here. So you see I entered here. Now obviously this one didn't go against me, it just went straight into profit, but 10 points, 10 points, 10 points, 10 points. Now this I'm not utilizing the whole 500, right? You could add up to 5 levels, and then the 6th level would be your $500. If you added 1 micro every 10, and then what I do is just obviously if this gets triggered, then this TP would move up. So right now my $250 TP would be all the way down here, which means that, in a best case scenario, I take one trade and it runs straight to TP, to risking 500 to make 250. But I'm using the grid, so it's very, very, very forgiving. And then, but if this was triggered, then this goes up a little. And then if that's triggered, that goes up a little. And if that one's triggered, that one goes up. And it continues doing that. I just deployed it. I was like, this is the perfect time at open, because I already expected that we were going to fake break and then push down just based on the price action leading up to, to open. So right here, right before 2 minutes before open, I sold and I set up the grid, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It actually used the entire grid. My stop was just my stop was one grid away, and it survived. It held on, and then it turned around. But look at where I was able. This is the interesting part: is look at where I was able to get out. So I was actually using the grid. I was able to get out above my original entry. So remember that normally, in order to make 250 on 1 micro, I would have needed to gain 125 points from original entry. So 125 points. But in this grid scenario, I was actually able to achieve the grid, the result 2 points above my original entry. So I don't think it's just something you should throw out anywhere. I think it should be used in really specific areas, and I'm gonna keep messing around with it and thinking about where to use it. But I know the obvious areas are gonna be like, once I've identified, like this would have been super simple. This would have been very, very easy. This looks like a typical Wyckoff schematic right here, like where it just comes up, trend stops, boom, 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 low volume, all that kind of stuff right at the very end. So anywhere in here, once we seen that we had this point here, and that point, really at that point, we could start looking to buy into these areas. Or even if we, for whatever reason, I don't know, it almost makes you have to think about trading differently, but where you want to enter, because you almost want to take that drawdown, but you have to have an idea of where the grid is. Like, you basically have a 60-point range. So if from anywhere I enter, if I enter here, my idea is that my grid needs to cover down below this little, because if price breaks below here, the trade is invalidated anyway. So ideally I could just close my trade, but I didn't take the full risk up front. So the trades that invalidate, as long as I set up the grid right, then I should be in a smaller position and be smaller loss, right? Like maybe if I started entering here, well, by this point I've only added 2 micros. I added 1 micro, one more micro, and then I would just add my third micro. So I'd be 3 micros in. And if price breaks below the low here, it's invalidating my bullish bias anyways. So I could close the trade with a smaller loss if I wanted to. I don't have to try to let the grid work its way out. So I'll mess around with it. I'll see what happens. I'm just doing this on MNQ. I've got one account pulled off to the side that I'm testing this out on, but it's I got one.
Yeah,
I got one yesterday and one today.
it'd be very interesting to see if like it's going to have a lot of winning trades and then one, small, and then one trade that loses a lot. But overall, if you test it over a while, is
Right.
it overall profitable?
Well, so every trade, the take profit is $250, and every total predefined risk is 500. So it's never going to be a unexpected big giant loss. It's always
Gotcha,
capped.
gotcha.
Yeah, it's always every setup is 60 points. The grid is spread over 50 points. The stop loss is set at 60 points, which means that at that point, I've already done all the math. I've got it all written down, exactly how many contracts you would have at that point running. If you add one contract, every 10 points of drawdown at 60 points, you're negative $500 at 6 contracts. And so 6 total contracts, 60 points, $500. And you could dial that down, up or down, depending on your account size. You know what I mean? So if you've got a smaller account and you can only risk a total of 250, then you just know you can only deploy a grid that has, X amount of levels. So, it's just an idea for some of these types of moves here where y'all know I'll start watching something, and most times I'm correct in the direction. Almost every time I'm correct that yes, we in fact did turn at this point, but it's not always right on time. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I call it one pop too early, and then it will I'll be in the I'll basically be in the trade too early, and then there's like one push higher, and then I have to take a
It
loss
seems
and
like
then take a profit.
it seems like it would work good into kind of small to medium zones, right?
Yeah, exactly. But you're gonna have to identify a real zone first, which is no problem for me. It's no problem for me because I'm already in here doing this. You know what I mean? I'm already in here watching the chart. So see, but it just went back and it triggered one of my trades that was 10 points above the first entry, and that just moved my average price up a little, and now my TP is at 168. So it's literally, 50 points away instead of 165 or whatever it was. So that little bit of drawdown, it's weird, but like, see, that little bit of drawdown helped in this situation. Because remember before, my TP was, what I say, my TP was all the way down here, 130 points away, down at basically 25,100. But because it went back and it triggered that one contract right there, yeah, 1 second. Now my TP's moved here, so there's a really good chance we're going to go down there and hit that V. That was yesterday's VWAP. That'd be 250, and so in total, that was 2 grids deployed. And if I hit TP on this one, then I made $500 using nothing but micros. And this is actually on one of my real accounts too. So, boom, there we go. A little early to say if that works or not, but there's $500 for you right there. 2 grids during open. Now I could decide, all right, you know what? I go to NQ and I can do Titans or I can do order flow. I really, if I would have been watching, I know there's probably some volume right in here, like a little volume zone that just perfectly. It's there, you guys. It's there. Look at the retest of the volume zone for the entry up there at the very top. See it? See this candle? All the volume got left right here. Look at all the buyers. All those. I've got my cluster set to bid ask proportion, which means that you're seeing who was active where. So sellers were active at these prices, buyers were active here. The brighter the color, the heavier the buys or the heavier the sales. So look at all the buyers that got trapped all the way up in here, and then you've got your value area right here. Candle closed down below 50%. It opened, retested that high volume zone, and then took off. That's order flow right there. I wasn't even looking at it because I was actually hanging on by the skin of my teeth on that first grid trade that I took. But I was about to start the day $500 loss right there, but it turned around and did its thing.
Hey, Ken, I got a question for you.
I probably got an answer for you.
Alrighty. I tried putting a trade in, and order was rejected, and it says my account is currently set to liquidation only due to auto liquid with no auto unlocking.
So
Please contact trade desk for additional details.
you've either, there's two things that's happening, is you've either blown your account by hitting the trailing drawdown, or you left a trade. If you're on a performance account, you may have left a trade open yesterday at market reset, and so they've basically failed your account, flagged it as blown. Or if you set up some of your profit and loss targets, maximum profit, maximum loss for the day, then oh my god. Sorry, my girlfriend just ran in here and I hugged me, and I thought she was about to pick me up and try to carry me out of his room. So she looked like she was meaning business. She came running. Yeah, what I would do is, do you remember how to add the, oh wait, I know an easier way. Log into Tradeovate, and then you're using Tradeovate accounts, right?
That's correct.
So log into Tradeovate, go to the right side, and you'll see alerts on the right side. And there's like a little triangle. It'll say notifications. And you should see, I'm hoping it's something else, but what you should see is some alerts on the right side. And when you click on it, it's going to say account change to auto liquidation. And, and it's going to tell you something like max this or max that, like it's going to tell you what the reason is. Did you set some of those profit targets yesterday when we were talking
No,
about
I didn't, Ken.
Okay.
No, I didn't. I don't know how to do that. And my account, it's sitting, like I lost 2 trades this morning, stupidity, but my account's sitting at 47,600, and it's a 50,000
Okay.
account. So
I have you made a little profit on it before?
yeah.
Okay. I hate to tell you this, but I think that you've hit the auto, the trailing drawdown. If you're in the 47,000s, and
right.
the trailing drawdown is 2,500. So if you're at 47,000 anything, then you're very close to what the trailing drawdown would be. And then if you've already made some profit, remember that kind of drags your high water mark up.
Right.
So yeah,
I
if you
forgot
log into Tradeovate, click that notification. You should have some notifications, and up at the top it's going to say something like auto liquidate. So
Yeah.
so
I'll do that. Good thing I got 3 of those cheap 25K accounts.
I was about to say, hopefully you took advantage of the deal when they did that, because if
Yeah.
so, but also don't forget, resets are only $25 right now too. So you could reset any of your accounts for only $25, which is that's a holiday special for
True.
sure.
True. I think you know what? I think I'll just carry on with those other 3 accounts. That's enough for me to handle right at this time.
Yeah, just keep it easy.
Yeah, I just want to pass one of these. I'm gonna pass one of these soon. Okay, thanks, Ken.
You're welcome. Yeah, if you need help, let me know. I mean, we're here. If whatever you're having trouble with, or if you just need to, have me look at your history and see what we can do to help you improve, just let me know and I'll try to help you out.
That'd be awesome.
Or
Yeah,
hop on a call or something.
you know, it's discipline, right? Like I'm pretty sure I'm just not disciplined.
Maybe book a one-on-one with me. Take a little bit of my time and let's sit there and get serious with it, and then maybe you'll feel compelled to stick to it, because now we've sat down and we've spent some time together and I'm watching, and you took my time, and you're not going to want to let me down, and put
Yeah.
the pressure on you. Start
Yeah.
reviewing
I think
start reviewing your trades,
I'll,
start reviewing your trades every couple of weeks and see what see if you're making progress, or if you're screwing it all up, and I'll just let you know what I see. I do it all the time.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna set up a one-on-one with you then, just through the support ticket, and
Yeah, go open up a support ticket and just say, hey, can you send me a link for your calendar, and I'll shoot you the link. Book whatever's available. I'm kind of I tell you, I'm probably booked all the way up and until January of some time. If you see anything, just grab it, right? And if it feels like an emergency, let me know. I've got a running list of drop-ins, so if somebody cancels or changes their date, I can switch you out and let you go in there a little bit earlier.
that'd be awesome. Okay, thanks, Dave.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Is Mia on here? Mia. Hey guys, I'm gonna run over and drop my son off at school real quick, and I'll be right back. He's right across the street. So hold the
Gotcha.
line.
Soon I'm gonna sit at my desk so I can look at some of these trades. I see I've missed a nice little move. Why does he look this?
A 1 minute Titan one.
His
Yeah, I
Titan
caught
is
that one.
really good. Titan has been working really well these last couple of weeks. It looks like.
Yeah.
Mama, had Anna iets gevraagd over woensdag? Deze woensdag?
Charlotte, you got a hot mic.
Right. Mama, ik heb eigenlijk liever dat je telefoon. Ja,
Okay, I'm back. What do we got? A winner and a loser. And we had a
Titan
winner.
winner.
Yeah,
Okay,
we had a Titan win.
We had 2 wins. So this one was a winner, but we can't see it anymore. Yeah, so not bad, not bad. Y'all taking them or what's up? How's everyone doing?
Not yet. I'm finally gonna sit down at my desk. Just
I took
wrapped
that
up what I
bad
had to
sale.
do.
Sit at that desk.
Yeah, I took that sale because it was off that trade zone at the time.
That was looking good. Matt, if you're still here, see, this is the area where I would start looking to do that same concept of selling. Basically, as it's reaching up here, if I could see some delta divergence curving over,
Yep.
start selling early. I was just thinking about it as I was driving, what me and you were talking about. And, the thing is, like, the idea to to kind of wrap your head around is this, like, look, I was already going to try to sell right here, and I was already going to risk $500, so by doing it with the micros and setting up a grid, I just want to be really clear, not a lot is changing. All I'm doing is spreading my position over a predefined space instead of
Yep.
surgically trying to go in, because you know how it is, man. You enter on NASDAQ, you have 15 points. You have 25 points.
That's
like
it, yeah.
at 25 points, that's it. So I could work with 25 points for $500, or I could work with 60 points and have flexibility, because I think some like if I think to buy right here right now, right? What I need to be thinking about is that my grid is going to go down to here, which is good because see, if it goes below here, I'm trying to get lucky. You know what I mean? If it goes below here, I might let it trigger one more grid, but at anything below there, I should be out of that trade anyways, So like maybe entering, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to go about doing it. I would have to clearly see buyers step in first. I couldn't just blindly start laying down a grid, because I wouldn't even I wouldn't start thinking about buying until I see buyers step in, because for all I know, they could push through here. So yeah, I want to do it in a good way, a good structured way, but we'll see. I got I'm back on track with my hiking buddy. So he's gonna come over here. We're gonna go on a hike. We're back on our Thursday hike. So I got about 45 minutes left of trading, and then I'm gonna go hit the trails.
We're back near that session low.
Let's see it.
See if this will be a range or if it'll keep pushing down.
Price action looks great today. Some nice clean moves. All since open. Let's see here. Okay. You guys are gonna think I have some horrible kids. Matt, are you around?
Yeah.
Okay. I swear my kids are good. They are. This is not normal for them to rob me blind on a consistent basis. But I've been getting robbed lately. But let me tell you what happened. My daughter, I'm not gonna spend too much time on this because I'm live everywhere, but my daughter went and she went into my girlfriend's purse and took $160 out of there. Okay.
Wow, that's a lot.
Damn.
These kids, maybe I have failed in one thing. They don't have the concept of, man, when I was a kid, if I was about to take something, man, I was going to take a little. Like, if there was a stack of money.
Yeah, like $5.
Yeah, like, I thought through it, like, they're never going to notice this little crispy $5 bill. No, my kids, they don't think like that. They're just like, if they find some money, they'll take the biggest bill.
That's grounds for ass whooping there.
So she took $160. We don't know exactly when it was. It was within the last 2 weeks, because my girlfriend said she put it in there within 2 weeks, and she just randomly checked yesterday because she was gonna get. The worst part is she was planning on buying them an iPad for Christmas, so she was like, "Let me get that cash out of my wallet," and realized it was gone. Well, I asked my son, the one that did the Roblox thing. I said, "Grayson, here's your time to shine. Who's got the money?" I'm sure you've seen. I'm sure you've heard some word in the streets, like who's got the goods, who's got the money. And he goes, "I don't know for sure, but McKenna did buy me and my friend some cookies at school today." And and I said, "Oh, okay, let me go check." Sure enough, I log into her lunch account. She deposited the whole $160 into her lunch account. Now, keep in mind, lunch at school is like $1.50. Okay, but they have cookies and snacks. They have like a little, they call it the snack shack. She bought the entire cafeteria cookies yesterday.
Look at me.
Oh, snap.
So she ended up spending over $100 at the cafeteria yesterday. And yeah,
She's
Well, I mean,
Robin
at
Hood.
least it was for like food, and it wasn't like, it's still not right, but
Yeah.
it's not like she went and bought some like electronic gizmo for herself.
Right. Yeah, I know so again, this is not the first time this has happened. Where she's done something like that, but that is typically what she does. She will take money and she'll give it to her friends. Like she knows that she's gonna get caught sooner or later, because we always find out sooner or later. It's just sometimes it's sooner and sometimes it's later, and so she always ends up getting caught. But that's always what ends up happening is she'll take something and she'll give it to somebody. She'll buy her friends, this or that. But I'm talking about she was cashing out at the cafeteria yesterday. I could only imagine what it must have looked like. You get a cookie. You get a cookie.
I guess she wanted to be like Santa Claus, or
Yeah.
impress her friends, right?
Yeah. I think that's what it was.
The thing is, if they don't have any value for money, my thought would be like, well, dip into their stash, and they'll be like, how do you like someone just coming in and taking your money? But if they don't have any value for it, they're gonna be like, yeah, I get it for free anyway. What's it matter? So you kind of lost the ability to snake their pile that they're saving up for something with.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to put some thought into what I'm gonna do. Because I don't talk about money a lot in my house. I don't. It's not a everyday conversation. I haven't, I've talked to my kids before about
Look at me.
Things like that. But I
There's a really good author, John Rosenberg. He had his psychology degree from, I don't know, Massachusetts State or something, and he kind of turncoated on him. He plays for Prager University, but he goes, one of the vitamins that kids are deficient in these days is vitamin N, which is no. And he goes, I don't have to give you a reason why I tell you to do something. Your job is to just do it. I don't have to explain it. We're not going to debate. You just do what I tell you. Okay. Yep. We're not going to discuss this. I'm the boss. You're the hireling, and that's the end of it. And it's kind of interesting because back in the 60s, most psychologists were like, well, let me explain why I'm doing this. And he's like, that's all nonsense. He's just, you make them obey, and that's the only option they get. So John Rosenberg is pretty interesting.
That's where they say in China, they say they don't give their kids options. I mean, you read, you do homework, you do something structural, and there's not, oh, do you want to watch TV? Do you want to play a video game? They're very structured, and they don't give options. They say the same thing when it comes to like giving kids the toys. You give them 2 or 3, you don't give them 10, because it actually affects their decision making and their emotions. When there's so many, it's like they're overwhelmed almost. Where if you give them 1, 2, or 3 toys, more options for the human race typically doesn't go too well.
It's funny
just adds to the anxiety.
with how our brains work.
Yep.
Look at me.
Look at me. What is that? What do I keep hearing? Look at me. Look at me.
Somebody got a hot mic.
I keep hearing. That's the third time I heard
You,
somebody say it.
Look at
I
your
me.
heard
kids,
that
Look at
man,
me.
too.
your kids are lucky, man. Because if that was my parents, man, I would have got an ass whooping in school, and there'll be no Christmas gifts. Man. You just, there's
I've
no
had
way.
some. Definitely had some thoughts about that. I've definitely had some thoughts
Yo,
like, what
you
do
lucky.
Yeah, you know what, man, and it's messed up because I'm a young parent, really. I am. I'm 30. What am I? 33, 34. But my oldest is 15. So I grew up while my kids were growing up, in a sense, right? And so I've always had like a relationship with them, a good one, but like I don't know. I don't feel like a old parent or anything, like if that makes any sense. And so like it actually, I don't know, maybe this is how all parents are, but it actually, like, I'll think about things like, that sucks that they, like, I can't believe they went and got themselves in trouble right before break, because now they're on break and they can't do anything, and I'm like, man, like that would suck for the kid. It sucks for me because that means now, they're going to be, I'm basically going to have to s- stay focused on keeping them disciplined over the holidays instead of just enjoying the holidays. You know what I mean? It's like, man, yeah, they do it at the right times. We'll tell you what. And I don't, you know what? I used to spank when I had just boys. First of all, when I had just boys and they were younger, I grew up getting spankings. That's what I did. But then once I had my daughter, she did not have the same type of reaction to spankings, like, or even just like really being stern with her. She would just like break down and cry, and it honestly would kind of break my heart. Like she would just melt into little pieces if I started yelling at her, and that was actually kind of hard to deal with.
Just
It's
had another
Yeah,
1 minute
just
Titan
wake
win.
'em up.
I see that. I see that Titan win.
I wish I would have been in that one. I was too into your story, Ken.
I know. I know. I need to get some trading done.
Yeah, I got into that one.
And I think, like, I can't remember who said it, but it sounds like they really have no understanding about the value of money. Because,
Right.
like I said, if I was ever going to take money, I think I maybe did once. It was like $5 or whatever, and it was like, even though there was much more there, I wouldn't think of taking
Right.
like 50 or 100.
Yeah. I agree with you, and I do agree with you because like I said before, we haven't talked. That's not an everyday conversation, And like I grew up with a different understanding when it came to money. I actually grew up like knowing that we didn't have enough, right? Like I knew we didn't have enough. I grew up thinking hard work equals more, but no matter how hard, I grew up in a very religious family where, it was almost like, a lot of people have that saying where they think that money is evil or something like that. I actually grew up in a house like that. So like I was very, very aware of money situations in the house, and I was very aware of lack of money and the stresses that it caused in the house. I was very, very aware. My parents, they talked about it openly, and then as I got older, they would conversate with me when I wanted something. They would say, listen, I know you want that, but we just can't afford those types of blah blah, and so as a kid, I grew up with those, but those that's just how I thought everybody lived. I thought everybody lived like that. And
I
so
I had the exact same thing. Like we did not have a lot of money and at all, and
mhm,
so like I kind of knew like I worked for my money on our farm, and it was just like,
right.
yeah, like I
we
think that
we
was
grew up the
that's why it
same
was
on
a
a
little
farm.
different. If yeah, yeah, actually, I grew up on the third largest pig farm in Canada.
Wow.
We had 10,000 pigs.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I think if if kids live in an environment where they're never left wanting or needing, then it's just a different mindset.
Yeah.
I tell
Yep.
my kids we're broke all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what?
Make a big deal about like gifts and Christmas. Like,
All of it.
I mean, personally, like us, like we have little kids. Well, I have an older 17-year-old, and then I also have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. But like now, the 4-year-old understands a lot more. So it's like, all right, these presents are from Santa. These ones are for mommy and daddy. So you don't think that like everything's from this fake person, and there's no value hardly.
Right. Makes sense. That makes sense.
Just like I tell them all the time, like, but you got to turn your light out. You're burning up the electricity. You want me to start charging you for electric? And that joker, he left the Christmas tree on last night. And then I said, yeah, bud, you forgot to turn it off. I said, make sure you turn it off today. He said, yeah, so we don't burn up all the electricity. That's right.
He knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I'm gonna have to have conversations with him because yeah, man, that's the truth. See, I will say this though, my boys, they're different. Like, well, not so much. My oldest is he seems to really get it, but he's also older. He's 15, so he knows more now. He's has actual experience. He's gone shopping by himself. He knows how much things are, and this and that. My other son, like they're still kind of in that like kid land where they're like, like he just spent $1,600 on Roblox, and he don't think he doesn't like he doesn't
I think
understand.
that's normal.
Yeah, he's just like
Other kids are doing that.
And how old was he again?
12. So
that first $1,600 he makes at 14 would be coming right back to me, and I'd say, son, do you remember when you were 12?
Yeah.
And you stole that money from me and did it? Yeah, I'm getting it back, Jack.
Yep.
It sucks, don't it, when somebody takes your money from you, huh? Yeah, but you won't do it again now.
I was talking to somebody about that yesterday, and that was a good idea. Like have them do like, like go. I don't know if people do this still or not, but go ask if the neighbors need their, like people in the neighborhood, like, oh, clean up your yard or wash your car or whatever.
Yeah.
Make them work it off,
You can't cut grass. You guys don't have grass out there,
Yeah,
do you?
we don't have no grass out here.
Turf.
Not like that. Yeah,
working it off, Ken,
Huh?
is working it off is a great way for them to learn.
Yeah.
Because it's physical labor.
Yep.
I like that. We'll get these kids in line together.
Yeah.
Right.
Top of this range again.
I see that.
Yeah, like my daughter, 17. Hey, you're paying for your own car insurance. I paid for mine.
Yeah.
I got her first phone at 14. I told her this would be the last one I ever get. She wants another one now. She's going to pay for it. Not I. You work, you're paying for
orders,
stuff.
Super big orders just came in right there at this top right there.
It was quite a run up though, too. Look at it. Kind of was in a small
know.
zone for a while, like about 10
Del-
minutes. And
Delta's
boom.
still pushing up real good. Let's see what happens.
15 seconds curving over a little bit. Yep. It's starting to.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There it goes.
What's it doing? What is it doing? Pushing up above? Yeah, we'll have to keep. We'll
Yeah.
just have to watch. Delta's still pushing up pretty good right now. So just hang tight. We'll see if it's gonna turn around. It'll let us know. It's gonna be pretty clear. So I don't know what that was all about. That's kind of weird. I was trying to set up that little grid deal. So
Yeah, it looks like almost a near perfect W pattern on that one too. The down and up, then back down and back up.
Huh, that's weird. I don't know what that was about, but whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. We had sellers step in on this candle here, so that don't look too bad for for the sell. Let me see if it breaks up above here.
Yeah.
If it holds, you know, or like how it's pulling back right here right now. Like this is if you're front running or if you're looking for that entry, that wick entry. That's the lowest possible risk that you can get for the sell if you're looking to sell this top right here. I don't have the indicator on, but this is definitely one of those reversal type of patterns there.
There it goes.
Yep. Going on with this though? I'm
Maybe.
selling. Something weird's going on my platform though. I don't know what it is. I'm selling, but it's doing something different. It's a sell. 32.
Nope. Made a new high.
All right. I'm trying to get one of those little grid things set up right now. It's hard to do that. It's hard to do that and do all this at the same time. 60 would be right about there. All right, so I pretty much have that set up. So yeah, it did make a new high. So we had, if you watch Delta, we had buyers pushing it up, heavy, hard pushing all the way up and up and up. Delta's still lined up and moving up just perfectly fine. And then we had sellers step in. It's pretty good volume on that one candle. Made it look like a flush. But then the next candle, buyers stepped back in at the low of the candle. You can see all the volume, and then price just lifted, made this new high, and now we're doing a flush again. And this is as long as this closes below 340, then this is another perfect flush style trade. If it doesn't make a high, and if it closes below 340, then there's the new high. So just hold off. Now I'm looking at 338 for it to close below. Oh, well, no, it's turned bearish. So keep watching. Yeah. So somewhere between 340 and 338. If it'll get down below there, or ideally close below there, then it's flushed. But I don't see sellers yet, so we might keep on ripping. This changes too fast. Like I know in the past we've talked about, kind of clearing this up to where like we could make it easier to know exactly when to buy and sell. But like you have to understand, like it's gonna come in a second. So you're just watching. You're not doing anything until, like, if you're waiting for me to say sell, then you're gonna hear me talking and saying, "Oh, it's getting ready. Oh, wait, no," because it's literally that's what I'm doing is I'm watching the candle and the volume. So depending on where the candle closes has a lot to do with my mechanical triggers. So I may talk about it and say, "Oh, this looks good for selling," but unless I actually say I'm going in, then I'm not in the trade. I'm just speculating that it will sell, and we are trying to pick the top right now. So just to be really clear that's what is happening right now. Back at that last high right here, like right inside of this area, there was a crazy amount of trades. Like it's showing up like over 500 contracts in that one candle. Let me go zoom in. I'm gonna look at it. Pretty much all up in like the 30 area to the 32 area.
we're headed all the way up to like 390 the way this is looking.
It's bullish, that's for sure. Give me a pullback. Delta's still pushing up nice and steady. We've gone right to the top of this zone right here. This is our last line of defense between here and 400. Yeah, and I've got that. Oh no, this was old. This is an old level here. I've already wiped out all these zones. It's a Titan setting up. I might just take you right up there to that 400. We had a little bit of sellers step in on that last candle, but nothing crazy. Nothing above average. Or reaching the POC of yesterday. We had this super kind of like long distribution type of day. You see where we had a lot of volume and a lot of time spent up here. So we had a lot of time spent up here, but we had a lot of volume down here, right? And so obviously that volume down here turned into buying back up to this area. So this is kind of like the area that you'd want to be watching is between where we're at now. Why can't I draw? And we're at this POC, which is at about 327. You can see a bulk of the price action. So we got these areas here. Kind of in a low volume area right here. Look at that well placed Titan right down there at the bottom. That's crazy. I did do that thing I said I wanted to do where I added levels to the quantum. I got that added in yesterday's, and I even did something a little extra where I went in and I added, all right, so like if this candle closed with a green quantum candle, then obviously the next candle, that's where you would look to enter. And based on the quantum candle's low, that would put the stop loss down here. So your entry would be here, your stop would be down here, and it trails it based on the wick plus 1 tick of the low. So as you can see it, and like if these wicks here, if this was being printed on this chart, this is the same price. So as you can see, if you measured that, that's 179 and blah, 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 all the way up. So that way it kind of acts as like a trailing stop as well. Like if you decided to buy here or buy here or buy here or buy here or buy there, anywhere, if you decided to buy while the green line is underneath there, that is the quantum trend wick low plus 1 tick. And so I know in sideways markets, it's going to get a little back and forth. Let me find a really sideways area like this, right? Obviously, that's not at all going to work, but it wouldn't work anyways. You wouldn't be able to rely on quantum during that time anyways. So, but during like these more trending type environments where it's just moving one way, I think that it could make quantum a little bit easier for us to use.
What indicates the start of the blue line? Is it the first color on the quantum or what?
Yeah, basically, so like if it goes from gray to red or from red to green, or from gray to green. Basically, a fresh green or a fresh red. What it will do is it will plot the entry. The entry is green for a buy. The entry is red for a sell, and then it is the stop loss would be the line. So yeah, so you'll see, this candle closed. So on the next candle, you're going to get a red sell, and then you've got your TP at 1-to-1. That's adjustable, right? You could go in and adjust that. And then the reason you got a green one here is because actually I don't know why we have a green one there. That might be a little bit of a bug. I think I think I know why, but yeah. So, but anyway, I'll figure that out. I think I might even have this. Yeah, I've got that set on a 2 instead of a 3. So if we put it even with this, now it's perfectly in sync with it. So you can see there's red, boom, there's your signal. There's green, there's your signal. This one it went from gray to green, so you're going to get a signal somewhere like that too. Obviously this is where it went from red to green, so this might be a more probable signal, but the whole idea is it's at least showing you where the lows of the quantum is, because this is a candle math indicator. It's actually blending the last 2-3 candles together, and that's why these lows stay kind of pronounced like that. Looking to see if we get delta divergence up here as price breaks the high. So far, it's already divergent. We have price pushing up, but we've got delta not pushing up. So I'm going to see if it sticks to that or not. Oh, oh, oh. I'll be right back.
We just had a 5-minute extreme that won and another one setting up or sell.
Hey guys, is there any reason why the Titan would set up on NQ but not MNQ? MNQ, if anybody knows.
It happens sometimes, not often, but it does happen.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, they're
That was
separate charts. Yeah.
they are okay.
Yeah, they move different.
Okay, because I was looking at Ken's chart and I'm like, oh, it's a tight. There was a nice Titan setting up. You know, it hit TP.
Look at me.
TP1.
Look
What is
at me.
that? What is that?
Look at me.
Okay. All right. Nevertheless, and then, but I didn't see it setting up on the mini, so I was on the micro, so I was just curious. But thanks for that clarity, fellas. I appreciate it.
Who is doing that? Look at me. Somebody's doing
It
that.
sounds like a sound effect or something.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to figure it out. It was on earlier
who-
too, right?
Yeah, Ken noticed it earlier. I did too. I was like, what's going on?
It's an
Right.
alert. Someone said it as an alert. It's an alert.
Oh, okay.
It's an option you can choose. I have it on mine, but that's not me. Somebody else set it up. It's under voice notification.
I gotcha. Thought someone just wanted some attention.
We got us a little range right here.
Yeah, we do.
I'm kind of bearish on it.
I'm bearish too, but I mean, it could go back up to that 400 level
Yeah,
before it comes
good,
back
man.
down again.
It's been a rally today for sure. I can't say it ain't. Everybody's in the green good. Everybody's up today, so may take some may see some profit taking at the top. Got that buy setting up.
candles on the quantum are really small. I usually don't like that. And they're hugging the EMA line.
Yeah, that's a sitting in on your hands pattern is what I say when I see that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we buy, man, it may go up to that 25, 520.
We got a 5-minute Titan setting up.
Yeah.
It's still in that last sale. It ain't stopped out yet.
All right, guys, I'm back. Are you here? Can you hear me? Am I still here?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. Look at me. Look at me. That's so funny.
Ken, somebody said that. That's just an alert.
Yeah, I know. I was responding to my comments on the live stream while I was away, and when I clicked on the live stream, I heard you and Clyde talking about. Clyde said, "Who's doing that? Look at me." So funny. Yeah, it's like when you choose that alert sound, like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Look at me. Yeah, I need to look at it. Like, it sounds like a good idea. I give you 2 days tops. Look at me. Look at me.
Yeah, I'll be ready to cut this thing off.
It's like it's almost
I'll be
whispering.
sitting there trying to sleep, and then in the middle of the night, look at
Look
me.
at
I'll be,
me.
well, who's
Look
that?
at me.
Yeah.
It's almost creepy. I think it's creepy.
Makes you kind of miss the order filled.
Right.
Really makes you miss that.
Look at me. Well, Matt, I'll tell you because I've talked to you the most about this. My update, I did 3 of those grid style trades.
Oh yeah.
Let's see, this is where open was. So first one, this one I won, but I quickly realized when I took this trade, I quickly realized that I was out in the open. I really didn't have an invalidation point. You know what I mean? Like it was just price was just going up and making a high. So like, so I'm going to tighten it up, but like when I decided to do that this morning, I was looking at the chart. It was about this time right here, somewhere in this time. And by that point I had seen, I think these 2 things happen right here. Yeah, and I was thinking, oh man, at open we're gonna rip above the high, and then we'll go down. I didn't know if we'd keep going up, but I assumed that this was gonna happen. I thought for sure we'll take highs, and then we'll go and at least take this low right here. So that was like kind of my idea. But then obviously by the time opened happened, we had already pushed up above there. So I was buying essentially at the invalidation point. So honestly, I'll just chop it up to this one was kind of luck. Like it really was. I mean, and it almost used the entire grid, right? So it almost failed. It was 10 points away from failing. So, right. And again, at that point, I was just kind of holding on for luck at that point. It happened to turn around. What would have been a better idea would have been to deploy it here, or even in here is what I'm thinking about. Deploying the grid inside of here with a clear invalidation point right there. So that way, like ideally half of your grid is inside of the invalidation point, and then maybe half of it is on the outside. That way you're really leveraging the grid so that if you're right but you're early, it gives you a little bit of breathing room, a little bit of a chance. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I mean, you're just gonna have to play around with it.
yeah, I used it here, right? And so that one wasn't good, but then I mean it worked. I did get paid on it, but then I did another one. I can't remember where. I was fine with that other one. The other one felt good. I felt like I had clear invalidation points and all of that kind of stuff. That was all good. But then I went off and I tried it again. So I tried it. I think I did it either here. Yeah, I don't know. I had to go look at Tradeovate, but either way it failed, right? So I ended up winning 2 of them, a little bit over 500, and then I lost one of them. And the crazy thing is it failed like right here. It failed with like points. Talking about points, and that was it. Let me see. Yeah, so I actually stopped out, fully closed the grid at 401 and the high was 407. So I was 6 points away. But again, I didn't really set it up right because I should have looked at it a little bit closer and thought like, all right, like there's no reason to let it drag all the way up to that area or even past these zones right here. Like once it started breaking past these zones right here, like I should have just closed it. But again, that's part of the process with discovery, with playing with it and seeing if it's worth using. It's the only thing I've done. So basically I've taken 3 trades. Oh yeah, and then I did it again. So I did it the first time, I did it the second time. Those 2 worked. The third time did not work. And then once price had pushed down and came back up, that's where I said, you know what, I'm going to be really intentional with it. And I set it up and I did it somewhere in this pullback here. And then that one obviously worked. So it's the strategy's green for the day, but it needs some refinement for sure. But I've basically kind of given you the whole idea. I mean, if you just simple math, if anyone else wants to try it and test on that, it's really simple math. It's 1 micro, 10 points. That gives you 6 grids. And then you will have to determine how much you can risk, which is going to determine how many grids you can use. Like if you can risk up to 500, you could use up to 6 levels. If you have to risk less than that, then it would be tighter, or else you'd have to spread them out wider. I think this is probably more of an aggressive style approach with it being just 10 points. You could do 20 points and things like that. So I don't know, kind of fun, but I don't know. I'll see if I stick with it or not.
Look at that green CVD.
Yeah, I see that. A lot of buyers up there at the top of that candle. There was delta divergence too, bullish delta divergence. Well, I'm looking at MNQ. Let me. 24-hour warning issued as potentially hostile alien threat approaches closest point to Earth. You just put anything on the internet now, huh? You've been warned. That was 19 hours ago. Uh-oh.
What type of alien threat?
The interstellar object known as 3I Atlas. That one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. You just have to just go to Google and just Google alien threat 24 hours, and it'll probably pull it up.
So an asteroid is now an alien?
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. I can remember when I finally realized, man, it was liberating when like I finally realized it was at some point in my early 20s when I realized that there's always something going on. There's the Russians are gonna come get us, or an asteroid is, it's something. There's always some kind of big looming conspiracy, the end of the world. There's always something crazy about to take place, and there's in other words, there's always a crisis. There's always a crisis, and when one kind of wanes out, a new one is launched. And I remember
That's how they want us to be.
yeah, I remember that during this specific crisis. See, when I was a kid and a teenager, I never thought about I never watched TV or did much of that type of stuff when I was younger. So like I just wasn't aware of those things. But as I got older and I've seen the news more and I was more connected, I would actually, these things would come up, and they would sometimes be kind of scary. And like I remember thinking, why am I doing all this work if in the next, undetermined amount of time, but potentially in 6 months, we're all going to be dead anyways. And then I started to feel this feeling, and then it finally hit me, and I was like, this is stupid. Like I'm so influenced by this that I'm I don't even want to do other things. I was literally looking at like, what's the reason to work on things if we might be dead? And then I just said, man, I'm tuning out of this stuff. I tuned out and I never tuned back in. Life's been much better. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Don't ever get involved. And now I could see it from a mile away. Like, and no, we're not going to get into anything here, but that day with Charlie, when that stuff happened, I had seen some of his videos during the election, and I had watched some of his videos, and I'd listened to the debates. I knew nothing else. All I knew is he was that guy from Facebook Reels or whatever it's called, where the short little videos come through. And then I told my girlfriend, I said, "Oh wow, look at that! I just saw this video that this happened to this person. Remember, I used to watch those videos." And she said, "Oh yeah, that's crazy." Within 30 minutes, I could already see that they were creating this big conspiracy. And I called her back. I said, "Brenda, can you believe they're about to do?" Because me and her have like this thing where we do that. Like when some breaking news hits, I can always tell when it's about to become a conspiracy based on the way that the facts are coming out. So I'll always call her and be like, watch, next conspiracy is coming out. It's going to be this. Just, watch. And then sure enough. And I said, man, look at what they're doing. And there's a saying, no,
like a puppet show.
No, yeah, never let any good conspiracy go to waste or something like that. Or don't let any good crisis go to waste. Some people, man, they get really, really caught up in that stuff.
Yeah, I'm a pretty conservative Christian. I didn't even know who the dude was when that unfortunate event happened. But man, you just got to live life and be grateful to God for every day He give you, and like you said, stay positive and focus on doing whatever you got to do in order to make it. Because some things are just beyond your control if it's going to happen, and you
Yeah.
know, you just got to faith, man.
You can't live your life in fear of, oh, well, what if this happens? Well,
Right.
if it does, it was meant to be. That's how I look at it.
I don't even I never think about those types of things happening to me anyways. I don't. Yeah, that's crazy. Look, guys, real quick, we're breaking the high. We're making a new daily high, but also tapping into this zone right here.
Yeah.
Tighten signal just. I mean, that was kind of a good location for this in terms of a liquidity grab. Big
Man, I would
trades
like to see it
came
go up
in.
to that 520 if it today. Be nice.
There's a ton of liquidity just got hit right at 410. A ton. I just watched it happen on this little chart right here. Look at where there was 500 orders sitting right here just a second ago. So this was when it hit it the first time right there, and then it hit it the second time, cleared it all out right there. You can see where everything got filled. Look at the buys, 560 came in right there, and price failed to continue going up. They got absorbed right there, and that's why you see it tanking. Put this back here. It'd be cool. Give us a sell, Titan. Getting some alerts on gold for my weekly levels. So we're hitting some key levels here. Look at that. Oh, that's all-time highs on gold right now.
Man, good God Almighty.
Yep, there they go. All-time highs. We just blasted through both of them. That's why I told you guys that it's a good idea to set those alerts up, because in this case it happened extremely quick. So even by the time, I mean, this happened 3 minutes ago, and let me go to 1 minute, right? So like this gap being closed, this is way too fast to really be able to do anything with. But this is what I mean. Like, it'll go from one zone to another zone. So when you've got these zones stacked down like that, and price starts to break below them or above them, lots of trading opportunities come out of that. I mean, even this move, 387, 397, $10 move, it's money. Gold's flying up, NASDAQ's flying up. Is it Christmas? This perfect little pullback. I wonder if it's gonna just perfectly pull back. I can see a zone right here. Volume. I like to target these. See where all the volume is. That's basically a volume footprint inside of there. So you can see that's a candle. Now if I zoom in, you're looking at the volume profile of that candle. And so you can see where all the volume's concentrated right in here. So when price starts to pull back, you see how it got abandoned. Basically, the bodies of the candles are here. That volume just got left behind in the wick. Lots of times when price comes back into here, it'll bounce off of those areas. That's what I look for. Just like even as prices are coming down, see, we got one right here. where I like to use the untested ones where you see since this candle was created, nothing has touched this area. Unlike this one, this candle closed and it's been filled in, right? Like the candle has, this candle here has come in here and touched that area. This one, it was untested, but then it got a little tested right there. But it's holding up pretty good. Let's see. Oh man. There we go. Yeah, so this is how I'd normally do it right here. It's just like this. I can set a little order. Okay. Just like that. And if I have time, I could even measure. Okay, it's gonna be 14 ticks. That way, if it flies through there, my stop will automatically be placed. It's getting pretty thick. Watching this chart right here, you see a big difference between how much liquidity is nearby, above and below, when it looks like this. So there's a lot of just trading. I mean, look at all these big orders all over the place. 24 contracts, 11 contracts. I mean, it's just thick right now. The order book is literally thick with orders. It gets way thin from time to time. It'll get way thinner where you can't see that effect. But I've noticed by keeping it on my screen, when it gets thick like that, prices is volatile. It starts moving a lot. Yeah, so like, wouldn't that be a perfect pattern though? If it did set up like this, it would go boom, and then target is just right back down to there. That's what it would look like. Probably even below there, like down there, if this was to hold up. And also keep in mind that if it blasts through there, it's probably going to make a higher high. And I'll tell you another thing, if it doesn't like perfectly wick right off of this low right here, like anywhere in these areas where you see these big numbers there, if it goes deeper into here, most of the time, my own observations, if it doesn't wick test these types of zones, they're gonna go through them, right? So it's like you almost, I know it seems crazy, but you almost want to or could even keep your stop in there, because if it goes like halfway, most of the time I see it normally just go all the way through. Look, here's an untested one that it's doing right here right now. Or that it touched, but you see it went through it, so it didn't just wick touch it. It went into it, and then see it went one tick above the level and then dropped back down. Now we got the same one right here. No, it removed it. Oh no, it didn't. All right, let's see what it does right here. I've logged into a different account just so you guys know. I'm just playing around here because I'm about to get off. Touch it. I got a phone call. I'll be right back.
Yeah, just got that 1 minute tighten.
Nice. There's a 5-minute tighten as well that just won.
All right, guys, I came back. But I just came back to tell you that I'm leaving. So I'm gonna hop off of here. We'll be back tomorrow. I've got some things to do, so I'm gonna take off now. But I'll see you guys in the morning.
See you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hey, Ken. Have a good one.